Hey guys, it's your boy Shemtech, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can draw simple designs in 3D and in 2D draft on AutoCAD. Your version of AutoCAD might be a little bit different, but here goes. Just click to start drawing and you can Control S to save your file. Remember to save your files when you're working, and this is the workspace for drafting 2D. And you can move that world gizmo to change your perspective view, and it's better when you're designing in 3D to actually leave it in an isometric view so you get a better glance of what you're looking at, and you can rotate it as well. And hitting the middle button of your mouse actually pans the view. I advise you guys to get an external mouse. It will make your work a lot faster. Now to draw, all you have to do is select the line tool and draw a box. Escape. Now all you have to do to make the box into 3D is now to extrude, but those processes are a lot longer. Making a circle, just take the circle tool and circle. You can select it to move the circle also to where you want, but this is just to familiarize yourself with the workspace for the 2D drafting of workspace. Just get familiar with the tools. That's it. We have different tools. We have polyline, we have arcs, we have spline, we have fillets. To use fillet on AutoCAD is a little bit different from SolidWorks. To use the fillet option, you have to, if you click the two lines, it won't go. You have to click the fillet option, then you select the radius before making actual fillet. Now to move to the 3D workspace, you see this gear icon on the bottom right. You have to click it and select 3D modeling. Click the that gear icon and you'll see an option for 3D modeling. There's 3D modeling basics and 3D modeling. If you click 3D modeling basics, you won't get enough options, but if you take 3D modeling, you get the full options for 3D modeling because you're a big boy now and you want to start 3D modeling. Okay, if you click the box option, it's just a shortcut instead of you making 4 box lines and extruding. Now you can see, like, that's why I say you should go to isometric view when you're making your 3D objects, so you get the actual view of how it looks like. So box will give you a shortcut of extruding a box. That's just what it does. And you can also change your view as well by clicking where it says 2D wireframe. You can change the mode so it actually has color. And if you want to make objects come out while using the box tool, for example, since the box has a length, breadth, and a height, when you want to dimension, because when you're designing objects you ought to dimension. That's the whole point of designing an object, to be specific. So you click the box tool and you draw the box out. Okay, now to select the object, all you have to do is when you click the object, controlling your mouse actually takes it up to the X axis, the Z axis. Moving your mouse upwards, take it to the Z axis or the Y axis. So while creating an object, you have to be careful of this. You don't want to extend it downwards to the Z axis if you're trying to move something upwards. And also, when creating objects, you have to know when you're dimensioning the stuff, you drag and you select. The first thing that's selected is the length of the object, and to switch to the breadth of the object, all you have to do is click tab. Click the tab button to switch over to the breadth of the object. Then the height is the last thing. After clicking enter, after selecting tab for the breadth of the object, then you select a tab. For this one, I'm using 2.7 for the length of the object and 3 for the breadth, and the height was 0.5. Now the same thing I'll do for the edge. All I have to do is drag a 0.5 distance downwards. This example we're doing, there's a circle. To make the circle according to the example, to make it easy for me, I'm using a line tool to actually determine where it's going to be, and from the question this is how far it is, and the circle is actually, okay, I'm seeing 0.5 for the diameter here, but okay, 0.5, that is divided by 2 to get the diameter. the radius, because radius is what is being inputted here. So that's to get the radius of the circle there. Now, designing this, I'm going to use a shortcut to design this, because actually drawing the circle twice will be redundant. So after drawing this circle, I'm going to mirror it to the other side to make it easy for me. So all I have to do, since I've drawn this circle, I could just select it, or just select the circle and the line so that the position remains the same. And okay, I forgot something very important. When you're mirroring an object, you need a midpoint line for reference. So you need to draw a midpoint line so that where it's mirroring to. So you got to do that stuff. So I need to go over to my line tool again so that I can draw a line in between this side. It doesn't really matter the length of the line, but I actually have to get the midpoint of this line to know where the midpoint line is. But since I know that the breadth of this the down part of the solid object is 3, all I have to do to get the midpoint is divided by 2, so the midpoint will be 1.5. So drawing a line of 1.5 there, and actually stopping it there and bring it at a midpoint line there now. So there will be my reference for the mirror object. So I have to select this circle and the initial point I measured to get that point there. And I will tick here as my midpoint, so you can see that object has been mirrored over there. Sorry, make them okay. All you have to do is click the mirror tool, click the object first. Okay, now it's mirrored there. Enter. Now I can delete this midpoint I use for reference, and also I can delete these lines. It's not needed. I just need the circle there, but I use those points as measurements. Now if I can change the perspective, you can see it looks better from this angle, so you don't need to get confused. So this is how it actually looks like. And I can actually go back to the 2D wireframe to change the look, give it a gray look. So it's better now. So all I have to do now is I have to extrude those two circles downwards and take it out, like cut it out to get a hole there, because according to the question there's a hole there. Now the other part I have to do is, there are so many different ways you can design the same object in CAD. So I can as well make the whole drawing in a side view and extrude it to the side, or I can just as well keep joining the parts together like I'm doing. There's a curve here, so all I have to do is make that same measurement and drag my mouse over to the left side, following that same measurement. And since there's a gap between this drawing and the other one, so let's say, okay, skip that, create it again. I'm going to say that, and I don't think I'm seeing a measurement for how far it is from here to there, but I know there's a space there before there's a circle at the end. So we just have to I'll estimate it to be 0.75, because I don't think it's more than 0.75, and it's actually towards the front. And at the end we're still going to curve that place either with a fillet, or we're going to bend it. Since it's a 3D object, in 3D there's always freedom, and the thickness is also going to be 0.5, because the whole solid object has a thickness of 0.5. So I think we're done with that part now. We've dragged it out and it's starting to look like the example, little by little. Yep, it's starting to look like the example, or at least I think it should be a bit longer than that. Where am I starting from? Drag it all over. Anytime you make a mistake, I forgot, Ctrl Z, as in almost all softwares, Ctrl Z to take it back to analyze what you've been doing so far, and that's just it. But I think it's 0.5. It can't be longer than 0.75. I'm still confused whether it's 0.75 or not. I should just leave it at 0.75. Okay, let's leave it at 0.75. And the thickness of 0.5 as always. Now the main point is to make this circular part because the top is circular. So what do? We use a cylindrical solid to make this part, but this is the tricky part. We're going to select end to end, but instead of just selecting end to end, we're going to click the option that says 2p, so to let the 2D object know that there are 2 points on it. You see a 2p underneath there. After clicking the cylinder and clicking the edge point, tell the object that it's a 2-point cylinder. And now you can also click this object that tells you what part you want to rotate it to. So you want to rotate it to what point? Click the cylinder again, click the point. Sorry, before the cylinder there's another part, because I think it's as long as that's this measurement they actually gave us, so you actually have to measure it. And here is, okay, the known length of this other part is 1.4, so it's 1.4 long. I'm not saying the unit right now, because one thing about CAD is after designing with particular unit, you can actually convert everything once you're done. But from the question, it says it's in millimeters, but this is just 1.4. Let's just call it 1.4. That's the known length they gave us, that from here to here is the, after this point of the rectangle is the midpoint of the circle. So you take a cylinder and you take a 2-point cylinder, you click the 2p option, so it has 2 points, so that the midpoint will be there. You get the whole scope of it. Okay, so now we are very looking much alike, like the example we have here. Now all we have to do, I've just changed the color, that's all we have to do is look at those initial circles I gave, put a hole in there, and also put another hole in the mid circle that's on top, then find a way to somehow bend the object at a 49-degree angle, because the angle is given in the example. Okay, so or to remove the hole, like to trim down the hole from the circles, or extrude down the hole, or just cut it out anyhow, the best option to use is the subtract tool. Okay, but first I'm going to have to extrude it down. That's what I want to cut. So okay, no, Ctrl Z that. I think I need to Ctrl Z that. So I'll extrude both holes the same time, since I want to cut the same hole length out of the object. So I'll click those 2 circles and extrude them down to the same length. Then I'll think of subtracting them from the bodies. To subtract them from the bodies, I have to select all the bodies involved in the subtraction. All the bodies involved in the subtraction to subtract from the body. So all the bodies involved in the subtraction, then the bodies I want to remove, then enter. That's how you subtract. Okay, I didn't get it right. I didn't get it right that time. Subtract, you click on, you select all the bodies involved in the subtraction. Click the subtract. Select all the bodies involved in the subtraction. The 4 bodies. Why am my mouse is funny. Okay, you get it? Follow the rule, follow my voice. You click all the bodies involved in the subtraction, then you click enter, then you click the bodies you want to subtract, then you click enter. That's how those 2 holes were made. Okay, the same thing you're going to do to make a hole here. To see the middle point of this circle, all you have to do, just like in SolidWorks, is move your cursor to the circumference of the circle. While you've clicked the circle, you can select the circle from the 2 box, then you click the circumference like that, so you can see the midpoint. Then you click the circle, then you give it a radius. The radius, I'm thinking the radius of the circle, the circumference is 7.5, I'm seeing. So 7.5 divided by 2, I think, gives you the radius of the circle. So the same thing you're going to do there is extrude that circle down, and then you subtract it from the extrusion. extrude it down, click, then you select up the objects, you click subtract, then you select all the objects involved in the subtraction, then you click enter, then you click the object you want to subtract, then you click enter. That's how you get the holes. Now we have 3 holes up in there. We have 3 holes, so it's starting to look like the object. All that's left is the fillet and the bend. So all we have to do to fillet is click on the solid tab, go over to the solid tab. Because it's a solid object, we're not filleting a line. So we go over to the solid tab and we click fillet. So I'm assuming the fillet is also 0.75. So you click the solid tab, you go, where's the fillet option? Okay, you see fillet edge there at the last point. Click fillet edge. Then what edge do you want to fillet? That's it. You click that edge and you give it I think the option is also 0.75. That's the radius of the fillet, 0.75, and you click enter. So the fillet is done. So it's so much looking like the example we have here. Remember, we're to reproduce and we're almost done reproducing. The last part is to bend the top of that face, this side of the face, and make it to the adjacent, make it 49 degrees according to the example right here. So to do that, I guess we can do it in so many ways, but I'm not really familiar with AutoCAD very much, but I think the best option to do this is by rotation. So I think it's either by rotation or we can just bend the face, but I'm not sure we can just bend the face directly. Let's see. Hopefully, depending on how many views this video gets, I might be making more CAD tutorials on different software, not just AutoCAD. So make sure you subscribe if this video has helped you understand the basics of AutoCAD 3D modeling and design. So okay, I think the best option is to rotate, and to rotate I have to go solid because I'm trying face and nothing is happening. Remember guys, this is my first time using AutoCAD to model anything, so I'm sorry that this video is really long, but I hope you're getting something from inside. Okay, so still not doing anything. Now remember, you can see some lines between these objects, and we want at the end of the object that everything should be one object. So some lines are not necessary, but some actually are, and that's why we join this place. In case where we're dividing this object, we want it to bend in such a way that that's the joint where it bends. So we can actually join the object or we can bend it, it depends. But I think the best thing to do is to join these objects, so each and every part of it, it's one. So when you're bending it to the adjacent side, it's actually easy for you. Now enough yapping. To actually move the object, all you have to do is go over to the home tab and select the rotate option, and you click the part you want to rotate, or the parts you want to rotate. Actually, I guess correction to that, actually, to rotate you click the rotate button, the first part of the object, the midpoint, and the other part of the object.